Good morning, friends. This is Corky, the Plum Creek Booksmith. I'm back again with another junk journal, and this one is fairly feminine. I have a little theme going on, and we'll get to it a little bit later. I have made this precious little cover, kind of a bag for the journal inside. It's half of an old dresser scarf. The embroidery is beautiful. There was a little hole in the original piece, and so part of what I had to cut off to make the bag, I've repaired the little hole with this strip of embroidery with a little daisy here. So that's what this is all about. And then there was another piece that I wanted to put here just to give it a little more oomph. So it's a half of another little dresser scarf. And so I've sewed it on here. So we'll get inside. It just fits so nice. It's like it was made for it. I guess it was. And so I'll put that to the side. This one I am naming Lydia and Lullabelle. This is Lydia, and this is her sister Lullabelle. Lydia has special meaning to me because Lydia is my given name. My parents called me Lydia Corrine, and I am the fourth Lydia in my dad's family, so Lydia means a lot to me. I had an aunt that was my dad's sister. Her name was Lydia. My dad's aunt was Lydia, and then his great aunt was Lydia also. Lullabelle is something that always comes to mind when I think about naming a car. My dad had one of our cars was named Lullabelle. So that's where that came from. Also, the reason I came up with L's, I want to include this pretty little handkerchief, and there's the letter L. I guess I could have named one of these girls Laverne, but I like Lydia and Lullabelle. So she's tied with a length of muslin, and I haven't stained this muslin. I think it looks nice with the book not being stained because I haven't stained the back cover. So I wanted to keep that white, and then this little doily kind of thing. It's I can't think of the name of the lace right offhand, but it's not stained either. And then the picture is old, and it looks old, but I think with it being juxtaposed with the whiteness, it brings it out. This is an old book, probably early 1900s or late 1800s book. I wanted to use this spine treatment, so I've removed the spine from the original book. It was only maybe 3/4 of an inch or half or an inch, so I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. It's about 1.5 inches, I think. 3 signatures, total 144 pages. It's a little over 9 inches tall and 6 inches wide. So we'll get into it. I didn't want to do anything to the original cover inside here. It's just a beautiful, it almost is shiny, but it's kind of a gray-green with some leaf patterns inside. I did my favorite spinal treatment where I used the canvas on the inside and this is it damask? No, I can't remember the name of this, but it's like a thick coverlet. And then I used these silver, almost kind of a bronzy silver paper fasteners with glue, And so it's really a tough spine treatment. And so I covered the inside with this label fabric here that I got at one of my favorite antique shops. So we'll get started. Each signature has this treatment on. There's a bobble on this one with an old safety pin. I have some old prescriptions kind of tied together where they have the little punch. There's an old bookkeeping paper there from, I think, the 30s. And I just have this lapped over. A little bit of gathering there. Here's a little tuck spot with a ticket inside. Notice to publisher of change of address. Very old. And I love this little pocket here. I made it from an old book page, and I dyed it with some red food coloring, and it came out nice and pink. I wanted this to be what a little girl might like to have for her scrapbook or journal. And so lots of little girl images. There's some tatting at the bottom here. There's lots of frilly stuff on the bottom here. Here's a little girl. And then here's a covered paper clip. I got these images from Eva, the Bohemian Crafter. Here's my thank you card and another little doodad that's tucked in here. This is one of my collage papers that I made digital, a digital image of it. Little bird tucks into this little fabric pocket. Lots of sewing, lots of places to journal. A little tuck spot and a pretty little flower image there with a rusted paper clip. There's another picture. I imagine this is a sister to Lydia and Lullabelle. It's a little tuck spot with a tag and a flower image that's been fussy cut. This is a little envelope that I made out of some fancy images like these. I just make these into paper clips, or paper envelopes, I guess I should say. Cut them out and then fold them, and then this is the flap that comes over. And so there's looks like an invoice or a sales ticket and another prescription inside here. I have little doodads on the strings on the middle of each of the signatures. And here's an envelope that's been attached as a flip over with some more of these little point of sale receipts. And I have a little paper clip that's holding this down, and then there's a rusted sequin pin that's holding a couple of these together, so be careful. And then there's a little something. Oh, these are just homemade flashcards that I got at a little thrift store. I think it was probably a homeschool family that made those. Here's one of my paper bulldog clips that just kind of hold a little thing here. I think they turned out really nice. They print up really well for me. I had somebody comment that they didn't like the way they printed out, but they look really good. Maybe my printer is just better at printing that out. I have a laser printer, so maybe an inkjet doesn't work as well. I'm sorry. Here's a little page out of a bug book. This was an image from their mom's quilt, and this is available on my Etsy if you're interested. I think they make nice little tuck spots. This is the front of the second signature. This is a little charm. I think it's a guardian angel charm. I can imagine the little girls would have that being something really special to them. There's just a little tuck spot there. Here's another little tuck spot that the little girls made. They liked this little girl. It looked like an angel. So it just gives you more opportunity for journaling. Another little ruffle. Can you remember the little keys that came on like sardine cans, I think it is, that you would put it on a little strip of metal that would open up the sardine can? So I just stitched that on. I thought that would be something a little girl would probably collect. Oh, I need to cover the back of this so that it's secured, and I'll get to that. I made a bunch of, I printed a bunch of pages that have fun little lines on them, and I think those will be nice for journaling. I think I put one in each of these signatures. Here's two of those envelopes I was talking about earlier. I made them smaller, so you can, there's tuck spots here. Here's a copy of an old card from a card game called Touring. And then here's two little, I think they're like little, I don't know, they're little gospel messages, kind of positive messages, and then on the back of them have the place where you can find something that was relevant to the little positive messages. And here's the back of one of those touring cards, and then it's a place to write. And then each of these envelopes have little extra little things that you can jot little messages on. Those just fit really nice. I think there's 4 of those in there. And then this is something that's on my Etsy. I think it's called Violet's Sunday School Messages. I think these were found in a little scrapbook, and I gathered from messages to the owner that the owner's name was Violet. So that's why I named it Violet's Sunday School Messages. You can find that on my Etsy, and I'll try to make a link. But here's some little stamps that she must have gotten for maybe a memory verse recitation, or memory verses that we have to do in Sunday school. And you get little awards. Okay, here's another sister, and I put this little butterfly. It's metal, and I just put that on there just for pretty. And here's some more things, just extra journaling spaces. Another tuck spot. It's a hidden paper clip. And this is something else. I think that's in Violet's scrapbook pages. I'm losing my voice. My hubby will be happy. Here's another tuck spot. Another price card and a book page. Here is a little Sunday school. Remember, in Sunday school you would get like attendance pins. That is there. I bet Lydia and Lullabelle got one of those. Oh, I forgot to show the bottom. Okay, here's a pretty little dangle that's on that one. Okay, and here's a little tuck spot made out of a fan image, and I love this little garden gate image. And here's the garden gate again with a little girl and her dog, I think, outside the garden. This envelope has another flashcard and a prescription. This one was from 1957, so maybe not as old as I had thought when I mentioned it before. Another lace on the bottom and a ruffle up here. Here's a pretty little, it's not a tuck spot, it's actually, oh yeah, it's removable. It's just on there with a rusty paper clip, but you can write on the back. Pretty little, a little image of a pretty little girl. I hope this isn't too bright. I got the sun coming in pretty intense. It was kind of under the cloud when I started. Another place to journal. I put this little watch face here on this heavy duty card. I mean, it's one of those price cards, and so it comes through the back, and I've glued it, and then I put a little brad through the middle of it. And here's one of my handmade paper clips, so it's pretty big and it holds that really nice. And then it holds, let's see, how does this work? Okay, I'll take this pretty little clip off. These are fun to make. And so this opens up, and it's a belly band for some more writing space, and then this kind of holds the paper inside. Oh, and this is another example of the line images on that piece of paper, so you can write between the lines. So this just goes back to hold that page from opening up, and it holds that price tag. Here's another envelope, and I've decorated it with this feather and some cheesecloth. And this has a prescription that's folded in half. It kind of helps these cards not go so deep into the envelope, and you can still retrieve them. There's a nice little Easter message. I think that was in Violet's Sunday school. And then here's some the form that you fill out when you want to change your, I think it's when you want to change your address to the post office. And this is an original postcard, and the writing on the back is amazing. It's from 1916, and I think it's in German, but it was to somebody in Omaha. And look how they spelled America with a K. With a K at the end. Maybe that's how they spelled America back then to the other nations. Okay, and here is an interesting find. This is what a watch jewelry man, like he was cleaning watches or whatever, what he would use to open the back, and so that he could work to inside the makings of the watch. It's just would slip underneath there, so it's nice and flat. It would work really well inside here. If it got stuck in the middle, it wouldn't cause much trouble, but it kind of goes to the bottom. And then this token has a K on it, and where I found it, he had a whole shelf full, or a drawer full of these little tokens. And I asked him about it, and he said he got it from a family that worked for a farmer, and the farmer's last name started with a K, and he would give the workers these tokens. I don't know if they could go use those tokens in town or what, but anyway, he had a whole drawer full of them. I should have bought more. And so I love this little lady here. I'm going too long. I'm sorry, people. Another tuck spot. This one is available on my Etsy. There's another envelope flip with some goodies inside. This is a little tuck spot here. Holds more journaling space. There's the lines again. This is Lydia and Lullabelle's mother and father. I don't know why that... Oh, I think I must have sewed that in when I sewed this little doodad on. I sewed this little doodad on, and but this is their mom and dad. Another little tuck there. Another tuck. There's a pocket. And another tuck back here. This has my poem to my buyers. And so that is Lydia and Lullabelle. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and if you do subscribe, hit the bell so you can be reminded of upcoming videos. I'll let you go. Thanks for coming along. Bye now.